What's their favorite restaurant? Take them out to dinner, buy a nice bottle of wine, have a conversation just like we are right now and say, hey, babe, my goal this year in 2023 is to get in the best shape of my life. I'm really frustrated because in the last 5 years, I let myself go. As you know, during COVID, I hit all these little hurdles. Now I'm at a point financially that I really feel that this is going to be the best investment for me. And I'm going to hire a trainer at Equinox 3 times a week. I just wanted to let you know I'm going to do that. That's the conversation. Howdy, y'all. It's your favorite trainer with a belt buckle, giving you a sneak peek what it looks like to become a qualified, certified personal trainer with our online CPT. We're overcoming objections and we're doing role playing for clients that don't have enough money or they need to talk to their significant other. Show Fitness has a 90% closing rate. The average trainer settles on 25%. Let's check out these live classes. Just to give you guys, so you can see that when you buy more, the pricing comes down. So if a client or said, well, 145 is too expensive. You say, well, what were you thinking about? You know, I was thinking like 120, 125. Awesome. Well, we have 48 and it's going to be 125 per session. How do you want to pay for it? You can charge your account or you can bring in your credit card next time. Those are your two options. They do offer weekly. So for the next X amount of months, you can do, they'll just debit your account. And then, so for, just to give you guys an idea of tier X is 175, 12 is 2100, which is 175. And then 48 is a 165, which would be 79.20. So here's my challenge with this presentation is there's no psychological bias. It really, what this does is it kind of confuses the person from a sales standpoint. There's too much to think about. You need to eliminate the thought process for your clients. Have you ever been to an elephant bar or a restaurant that has a lot of options on their menu? If you're hungry and you have a burger, you have a burrito, you have tacos, you have sushi, you have soup, you have salad, you have pizza, all of these options in front of you, you're going to be confused. And that's paralysis by analysis. So look at these numbers psychologically. Now I want you to look at this. Now, what do you guys think about? So this is one session. 12. What goes through your mind? So don't think about these ones over here. Just think about these. What goes through your mind when you see those? That's kind of expensive. 1620. It's like, I would rather just to do, sessions at a time. Now look at, where does your mind zero in on right now? I think that most people will look at this number right here and say, that's not that bad. 1620 isn't that bad because you have 6,000 to compare it against, right? So I think I'll just start out with 12 sessions. Whereas here, do you want 840? Do you want 1620? Do you want 3120? You want 6,000? Well, I'm thinking like, oh shit, 6,000 that's a little too much right now because it's such a big jump between 3120. My rent right now is 1620, so I don't know if I want to do that. 840 is more realistic, but 140, too much thought. Eliminate that. And so what I do when I do my sales assessment, I don't have something written out. I do it based on what my clients want. So this right here turns into a mathematical fuckery, in my opinion, because the client's saying, well, how many times am I going to show up, blah, 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 versus I'm working with Daniel, and Daniel, role play with me right now. Pretend like you're my client, typical guy, and what do you think most guys want?
How many sessions?
No, sorry, when it comes to goals.
No, of course, bigger biceps and arms, chest.
Bigger arms, chest, six pack, stronger. I'm going to ask you, after I take you through a workout, I'm going to take you through your CCA, show some value. You get a little pump in there, show you a couple exercises you've never done before. I get you fired up, and I go, Dan, how'd you like that workout?
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Great. Now, How many days a week do you want to train?
Let's say 2, maybe 3.
Okay, so what you told me, you want to get bigger arms, you want a bigger chest, you want to get stronger in your bench press. And you said you like that workout. My suggestion is that we start out 5 to 6 times per week. Would you be able to do that?
Ooh, I don't know if I can afford that or have the time.
Well, hold on a second, Daniel, because we haven't talked about money yet, have we?
No.
So that's why I don't bring up or show any money. I try to get the commitment first, and then I talk about money, because then you have the commitment to go off of. So it's like you trap your client. That's a sales technique. So the fact that you said 2 or 3, let's go with that. It's awesome. 2 to 3 times a week. You told me that you want to get bigger arms. When we measured them, they were at 14 inches. You said you want some arm form like I have, which are 16. That's going to take about 6 months to get there. So at 3 sessions per week, times that by 4, that's 12. 12 times 6 is 72. My hourly rate is 175. 72 is going to be 165. Which one do you want? 175 per session or 165 per session? So you see now the conversation is going less away from like the deals. It's, you told me your goals where you want to get this. I'm basing this off of what you want. So if you say, I don't want this, I'm saying, but then you said you want to get bigger arms. You said you want arms like me. So I'm a little confused. Talk to me about that. And that's the conversation I have with my client. I'm very open. I'm very honest. I have good eye contact. I'm not freaking out. I'm confused because you told me you want that. You said the workout was great. What's going on?
Pricing's a little high.
Okay, great. And then what do you think is the best way to overcome that first objection? And
ask them what they were thinking, right?
Yeah, great. So this is a good exercise to see firsthand, because in my experience, what I find with newer trainers is the reason that they plant this into their head is because they're thinking it's expensive. If you do not have a trainer, if you've never had a trainer, if you've never spent $200 for a trainer, that's probably one of the best investments that you can do. I've worked with a $400 trainer before, a $500 therapist. And when I get that session, I then go through a Swift in my head. Okay, what was good? What was bad? That actually kind of sucked. I didn't like that. I really like the professionalism. I like their onboarding. I'm taking all that to see what my competition's doing. And I'm thinking from their client's perspective now. I'm not thinking about my perspective and my bank account, because that's what a lot of trainers do. They, holy shit, $6,000, that's a lot of money. Don't think like that. Eliminate that, because your client's $6,000 is nothing. Especially when, if you're at an Equinox and you're driving up in, I don't know cars, but I see all these fancy cars and I'll price check them. A $200,000 car. That means your monthly mortgage for your car is $2-3 grand. So $6,000 is nothing. So if my client were to say, oh, that's a little too expensive, awesome, positive words. You know, what do you mean it's too expensive? You don't think I'm worth it? No, that's not going to work. Awesome. What were you thinking when you came into a private trainer? That's all I say. And I look at him and I smile. Then the negotiations begin. So that's it. Now the ball is in Daniel's court, just like in tennis. He has to hit it back to me. So Daniel, play with me. What do you want? What did you want?
I was thinking about $100, $120 an hour.
Okay. Now my mind goes, do I want to train him for $100 to $120? That's something I have to make that decision. Now, if I want to have fun with it, yeah, Daniel, you can go to an Equinox and you can get that training. There's a lot of trainers over there that don't have the education and background that we do. And when you do work with them, just be very cautious. I can help you find someone who's going to help fit your budget, because I'm going to suggest that you stay away from certain trainers and certain acronyms because they don't know what they're doing. And if you do get hurt, something goes on, you know where to come back and I'll help you. That's what I do most of the time, because I'm not going to train you for that. And then, but you have to also remember, I have the experience and I have the leverage. Leverage is what's really important. With that comes experience. But when you have the experience, you have that leverage. Just like a new restaurant who's opening up. If no one is in their restaurant, they have zero leverage. They got to go get anyone and everyone. But the restaurant that's completely packed, you have a waiting list for 45 minutes. Dan comes in and goes, I want the best table in the house and I want 50% off my meal. What do you think I'm going to say? No, right? That's not even a conversation. But if I'm the restaurant that's completely empty and Dan comes to me and he says that, I'm going to go, oh, shit, well, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'll do that just for this day. It's like we're needy. And I feel that a lot of new trainers are in that needy position. So how you can overcome that needy position is to build your confidence. And how do you build your confidence? By going out there and training and gaining that experience. You can do that by also buying hours. And buying hours is going to someone who's been doing what you want to do and you learn from them. That's what internships are for. You leave an internship like Daniel in LA with so much more experience than the average trainer, because average trainers are not around other trainers. They're in a dog-eat-dog world. So now you get to see the different types of trainers. You get to work with them. You get to observe trainers who are charging 100 to 150. And then you really get to reflect and say, okay, I like how they did this. I liked how Barack did that. I like how Ivan did this. I'm going to marry the two and I'm going to create my own little product. But if you go to an Equinox, this is what you have to present, because you can't negotiate that. So when I give Daniel this package right here, which I have to do, a lot of times, what do you think that client's going to say? Your client's going to say, well, let me think about it. Yeah. What's really important for you as the new trainer to say in that situation?
Just ask them, what do you want to think about? What is stopping you at the moment?
So let's go through a role play here, Nishant. Nishant, what do you have to think about? Do you think you think he's going to take that pretty well? Did you see my facial expression?
Yeah.
It's kind of argumentative, combative, versus great. What do we need to think about? I'm here. Let's talk about it. My voice, a little higher, smile, positive vocabulary. Great. What do we need to think about? Let's have a conversation about it. I'm looking at you. Body position is here. Where the Equinox trainer, when she brought out her thing, she put it on the table. No eye contact when we're giving the presentation. And she said, I think I can really help you get the results. It's kind of expensive, I know. Which one do you think? Negative. The client's in their own world right now. And then the client said, I got to go talk to my significant other. Oh, that's totally fine. You do that. And left it at that. Whereas how I would have liked to see that presentation is you are the client in front looking at me. I smile. How'd you like that workout? How many days a week do you want to train? You're gathering that data. Then you present the plan that's best for them. I personally wouldn't even show them these rates. Based on what she says, I'm going to give her that meal. I'm using the meal as a restaurant analogy. Just like if you go to a high-end restaurant and you say, I'm really hungry, what should I get? They're going to give you the best option for what you said. They're not just going to say, hey, how you doing? Steak. Hey, how you doing? Pasta. Just throwing out random things. So you gather that data. Here's what I suggest. Option A or option B. Which would you prefer? I need to go think about it. Think about someone at the restaurant. And I like the restaurant, I really do. So you present to them, if they're like, I need to think about the chicken. Okay, what's going through my mind now? I'm not going to, in that restaurant scenario, yeah, you may leave and come back a couple minutes later, but there's no fear that the client's going to get up and leave. When the person's in front of you, there's an interest. There's an initial interest. In their mind, they're thinking, I need a trainer. I'm intrigued. I want this. If they say, let me think about it, you lost them somewhere. I know that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of new trainers. And they're thinking, well, no, the client didn't have money. Bullshit. If you present a valuable product, and a lot of trainers don't have that confidence, And as Daniel said, competence equals confidence. It does. So let's talk through this. What are we thinking about? Well, I got to go talk to my significant other. Awesome. What do you think they're going to say? I know you were probably leaning, and that's how I'll say it. I know you were probably leaning more towards the 6,000 because that's how you're going to get the best results. It's also cheaper per session. So imagine if you go back to your significant other and say, hey, babe, I want training for $6,000. What do you think that they're going to say, Daniel?
You're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm. So I think we know what your significant other is going to say. So let's work through this a little bit. And this is my conversation when it comes to overcoming objections. Let's role play. I role play with my clients. You come home, you look at your significant other. He or she throws their bag down on the ground. Are they in a good position? Probably not. Let's not talk about it at that point. What's their favorite restaurant? Take them out to dinner. Buy a nice bottle of wine. Have a conversation just like we are right now and say, hey, babe, my goal this year in 2023 is to get in the best shape of my life. I'm really frustrated because in the last 5 years, I let myself go. As you know, during COVID, I hit all these little hurdles. Now I'm at a point financially that I really feel that this is going to be the best investment for me. And I'm going to hire a trainer at Equinox 3 times a week. I just wanted to let you know I'm going to do that. That's the conversation. Now, when people present it to their significant other, it's just after work, they come home, they're not in the right mind spot, $6,000. What? Fuck you, no way. Go to freaking F45. It's $200 a month. I'm not paying fucking $6,000 for some trainer. Trainers are idiots. Probably sold you on some whatever. I've been to a trainer before, and all they do is the same shit. They make you feel weird by doing this test and make you feel awkward, and they probably put you on a BOSU ball and did some high intense workout. Go to a little F45 or Orange Theory. Do that for a couple months. See if that works. Okay, yeah, you're right. I probably shouldn't do that. That's how it's going to go. So when you tell your client that's how it's going to go, they're going to be like, oh shit, you are absolutely right. Yeah, because I know what's going to happen. So if it's the significant other, you now have a solution for it. If it's too expensive, you have a solution for it. If it's sessions per week, you have a solution for it. You can meet them halfway. You can always, when someone goes significant, so let's play the scenario where you're at a gym like Show Up Fitness and you present 175 and they say, I was thinking 120 to 125, and you really like that client and you want to work with them because you know you can help them, and you decide mentally that you want to work with them. Don't settle on the rate that they gave you. Do we understand that? That's a question.
Yes.
So whatever your number is, if you present it here and your client comes here, what do we do next?
Meet them in the middle.
You got to come up. It's go back to that tennis analogy. Today's full of analogies. They just hit you the ball. You don't take the ball and run with it. That's not it. Awesome. So Daniel, you said that this is too expensive, 175. For 125, that's what you said you were able to do. How about this? If you commit to 5 times a week, I'll train you for 135. How does that sound? So see, that's now the ball's back to them. I just hit it back. So here, now we're here. Maybe you said 140, maybe you say 150, whatever. You make that decision.